This is my lawyer, and we are going to be suing you for doing this episode.
Wow.
My name is Daisy.
My name is Raihan.
My name is Wayne.
My name is Kyle.
And this is Tales from Incredible Tales, a show where we look back at the popular MediaCorp horror series.
We're all a little bit excited tonight because without tonight's guests, I think it's fair to say that Incredible Tales wouldn't exist. Certainly not in the way that we all know and love at the very least. You might recognize her as Daisy Matthews from Under One Roof, or from guest appearances on Phua Chu Kang and Masters of the Sea. You might be familiar with her as the founder of Hum Theatre, but you definitely have seen her work as script supervisor, director, and executive producer of Incredible Tales. Daisy Irani, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Big honor. Big honor to be in the same space as the creator of
IT.
Is that a code name? Do you guys use that IT?
Yes.
You don't use Incredible Tales lah.
Actually, when we were planning the opening titles, what happened was there was a whole feeling of the title itself should already give you that feeling of the supernatural, right? So when you talk about the supernatural, what do you call it? Like a word, a mantra, it is there. It could be it. And so it's because it's formless. What is this it? We don't know what it is. It doesn't have a form. It's in your... Is it a figment of your imagination? Is it really there? It's tapping into this whole universal fascination of human beings about the supernatural. So then we thought, okay, why don't we just keep it as a, with the whole it thing? Because after a while, everybody has a short form for, Under One Roof became UOR or whatever. It really stood out because if you see the way the titles are, the forms are there of these it's. And then it comes it, and then it comes Incredible Tales.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we are learning about the law.
Yes.
Anyway, in most episodes of Tales from Incredible Tales, we explore a different theme and how it ties back to the classic It Incredible Tales episode.
For this special episode, however, we're looking at Daisy's impact on the show instead, particularly through the episodes New Flat and Third Door from season 1. We had spoken about these episodes in our previous season, but just in case you forgot, in New Flat, a young couple with a child and one on the way moves into a new flat. The pregnant wife, alone at home with the little boy, discovers that a certain entity haunts the flat. Her husband questions her sanity, for he does not feel any presence at all. In Third Door, we explore probably the most famous urban legend among the men who serve national service. A mysterious death of a recruit prompts a series of events that cause a particular bunk in an army camp to put up a third door.
Let's take a look.
Actually, it's really good, if I may say so myself.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this after I don't know how many years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mentioned last season, right? Actually, the first 2 seasons are my favorite. Being someone behind the camera as well, I felt that because of the technological difficulties back in the past, and you guys were shooting on either tape or 360p cameras, you really had to know how to light in order to create that atmosphere. Now it's a lot more easy because the cameras are much better. You can literally see in the dark with the camera. So it's easy to use lesser lights. But back in the day, you really need to light the scene. Yeah.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
You see, when you asked me to come on the show, after my initial absolute shock and surprise. Oh my God, there's a show like this, Tales about Incredible Tales.
Yeah.
I think that's when I really started thinking back. How did it start? Or, I mean, it's more interesting to share those things because that's what happened behind the camera for us creators, And I think that would be interesting to your listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Because y'all have seen the show, enjoyed it. A whole new generation is now, exploring it, finding it, and thinking, oh my God, is this what happened, when we did it? But there was a lot that happened behind the scenes, and I'm going to share some with you.
Yes,
right?
please.
Yes.
So starting with how did we even come about this show, right? Yeah. Now, you must understand, every year we had to come up with certain concepts. Those concepts, and that's the process. Those concepts, we discuss them. Then it goes to programming, and then they look at all the different aspects of how this concept could work on the channel, depending also on which channel it is. Now we were sitting around, we were like, oh my God. Now, we had done Under One Roof. It was a massive hit. And then, there were other shows going on, Masters of the, there's a drama, there's a comedy. And then we were thinking of what else can we really do? And then there was this young writer who had just come in and joined the team, Charles Kim. And he was from Korea. And he suddenly came up and said, how about we do a ghost show? Ghost shows were not really done on the channel.
Yeah.
And you'll ask me why? Because you see, it's always a balance between finding the sponsorship and then getting the permission and approval of the authorities. And last but not least, the most important thing, eyeballs, right? So when you look at a sponsorship and you say, what am I sponsoring? I'm sponsoring a ghost show. I don't want to say, please go and buy this product, but I'm going to be associated with ghost show. So that was out. But last but not least, there was this whole ghost show. We've never done a ghost show. People will like it, Should we try it? Should we? Because every country has their own tales, their own folklore, their own traditions. And most importantly, the budget is comparatively lower than doing, a whole drama or doing an action like we did, later on. So anyway, we appealed and we said, please. And there was this group of very, very smart programmers during those times who said, okay, let's try it. And so for us, when we worked on the concept, it was not enough just to have a ghost show because that's fiction, right?
Yeah.
We took the very, very big step of deciding we want to do episodes, stories, which are our own, which are real. And that's where we need to talk about your HDB flat and your third door, okay? Now, the first episode was supposed to be Third Door.
Right.
And Third Door is such a famous story amongst all. We went through the filming. Now, I don't want to name the camp. It was a fabulous episode. The promo came on air. And then I got a call as executive producer of the show. I got a call from my CEO. And that was a bit like, why am I getting this call? Daisy, you come and see me. And I went. And they said, you are showing Third Door as the first episode of Incredible Tales. I think we can't do the show at all if this is what's going to happen. And I was like, but, why? What? And we got a call from censors. We have got authorities talking to us and saying, do you know the impact this is going to have on the NS, the recruits? Because you have these young boys. They're 16, they're 17. They're starting their lives in the camp. And there you see this the camp, with a third door. And then they talked about it. And then we said, okay, we'll go in for certain edits. Because first it was quite gruesome. You must understand our enthusiasm, right? We didn't know what the censorship lines were. there were lots of censorships, but we were like, we must do this, We had all this body parts there, and we were filming, and it was, gosh, it was really something. Anyway, we accepted the thinking behind it. We said, yeah, this is our NS. It's my NS duty to make sure my young NS, they don't have to go and live through this. Oh my God, I'm being followed. I'm going to keep being killed. I'm not going to do NS. We didn't. So then we had to move it, and then HDB flat came into the picture.
So can I clarify? So it was much more gruesome before the final edit. There was like you actually saw
the third door. Yes, the third door.
So the famous story about the third door cam is basically the recruit died and then standby organs.
Correct.
So the organs is all out neatly, like you neatly, arrange
correct.
how your fuel pack is, but it's organs.
Correct.
Everything out.
You must understand, when something new comes on, actually lots of people weren't even aware of what was going to happen, right? You don't know the impact. Yes, we are doing a show, and then we used to really work, man. We used to get those permits, the passion, the commitment. We need to do it as authentic as we can. What's really, for me, exciting about Incredible Tales was this quest about actually finding people who were willing to come and share their stories. So let's say you come to HDB flat, right? There is a producer of ours in the team, and one of his relatives went through this. And after a lot of coaxing, because people need that, it's not that they can just find that courage to come. When you because there was an initial process where you meet them, you talk to them, you suss out whether there is truth in it, you see. And people who have really gone through an incident, you can see it, in their eyes, the way they describe it, the way they talk about it. It's not about, yalla, I saw a ghost. No, it has an impact on you.
Yeah.
So when we spoke to this lady and she talked about what happened and her, I remember very clearly her son being there and, that episode, though it was the second or third episode we filmed, you can actually feel. Now, so this episode comes on air, right?
Yeah.
And we are, okay, and those days the ratings were like off the roof, man, because people started finding out about the show. And it's amazing. But Singaporeans just love ghost stories.
Yep.
And of course, people say, it's so scary. We shouldn't be watching. Close one eye also and watch.
Oops.
Somebody came and called me and said, Daisy, there's some people who want to meet you quite urgently. I go over there, and there were these 2 or 3 people who looked like all suits, They were in... and I said, yeah, can I help you? He said, yeah, this is my lawyer, and we are going to be suing you for doing this episode.
Wow.
And I said, listen, can we talk about it? What has happened? And they said, you did this episode. Now, at the end of the story, this person who was living there, they sold their apartment.
Right.
And they moved away, right? And what we did was we actually showed exactly which block it was, exactly which floor it was. We have a shot of the unit number.
Yep.
Oh no.
And we have Art walking past that, And they said, do you know what you have done? You have inadvertently ruined any kind of pricing we can get for the flat. You have, without knowing, made a situation for us where our own friends and family are like, there's a ghost here. Oh my God, we saw the episode. So imagine the impact. They said, this is absolutely not acceptable. Again, it went through the motions of going through, whatever, our management and this and that. And I totally understood where they were coming from. You see, these are also some of the follies that we go through. We didn't realize the impact of the show. Yeah. And then we went and we edited that. So today, if you watch the episode, you do not see the unit number. We used to connect to the traditional, the folklore, or even the religious festivals.
Yeah.
See? So it's a very Taoist, this whole concept of the seventh day, the soul comes back, right? Okay, so if you remember in the episode, if you watch the episode, right at the end of the episode, you have the burning of the house for Akong. So he gets a house.
Yeah.
All right. And I went to Recce at the Adam Road Cemetery. And it was supposed to be during the morning. It was beautiful. Oh my God, the cemetery. Very peaceful, very nice. And again, this idea that cemeteries somehow are, and during the day when you see it, the whole atmosphere is different. When the night you see it, it's different. So I decided, I found one altar. Beautiful altar. It was really a beautiful altar. And I said, okay, this will be Akong's altar. We will bring the house and we will, burn it there. Okay, fine. We go for the filming. The whole cast in one bus, the camera crew and all in the other bus. And we set the camera. The crew, the cast got down to come and stand in the altar. Just when we were about to roll camera, there was a shower, a burst. Everybody ran, the cameramen, they shield their cameras and they all ran and they put the cameras back. Cast came in and went. I looked out. Okay, it was sunny. That little burst had gone. We went back. We put the camera. We again stood over there. And just about the time when we were supposed to roll, there was another kind of little bit of a, shower like that. So again, we all went back into the bus. And then my cinematographer, Sunny, who is not with us anymore, he came and said, hey, Daisy, you sure you want to film near that altar or what? Enough lah, we find something else, And I was like, how can you say that? Look at this altar. It's so beautiful. Look at the backdrop. Look at the, it's very, all the artistic creators, we're all like that, right? Don't want to let go. Oh my God, this is my perfect altar. I said, it stopped raining. Come. We go down quickly. Let's go before it rains again. And then the bus door opened, right? Shh, that vacuum, the bus door, it opened. And I was just about to step out. And there was a snake there. Right there at the step of my bus. And I said, Uncle, close the door, Uncle. And they closed the door. And there were people around me, the cast and all. And they looked at, with this look, we really don't care if you're going to ask us to go back down. Because if this is not a sign, what is? So, then you come back again to the question. You're in Adam Road Cemetery. Why can't there be a snake there?
Yeah.
But then again, why is it that you had these showers and this snake? And do we really need to take the risk and shoot there and film there? And then, you always give in to that. Because without the crew, I can't do anything. They're like, please don't talk. Don't talk. We go from here now. And then we went to this place, which was just open. So if you look at the shots, there's no background,
Yeah.
It's just white. And we filmed, the house got burned and then the just sticks and all that. But yeah. So is it there? Was the person whose altar it really was he there? He didn't want his altar to be seen on camera? Akong didn't want this place? I don't know. Just sharing lah.
Did you guys pray?
Oh my God, we prayed for every shoot.
But did you like ask permission? Can we film here?
Absolutely. You're so spot on, Kai.
Did they say yes?
In our minds, they said yes, lah. Otherwise, how? You see, I remember. This is important because I remember every shoot we used to every shoot we used to pray, which in other shows that I have done is usually at the beginning of the show, no?
Yes.
Like you do the starting of the show, the blessings from the gods.
Yeah.
In Incredible Tales, every location we went to, we prayed.
I want to jump back to Dr. Melgil. I like that when you mentioned that, you have him on the show so that there's a bit of balance. But why him specifically?
What happens is when you decide to bring somebody on board, it's not enough just to have somebody who is knowledgeable. But you're on television. So you also need somebody who can engage you with their knowledge. So that, you can believe that there is some credibility.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what happens is so many times you have people who are extremely knowledgeable and they have but maybe when they talk to an audience, they are not so appealing. And Mel did have those qualities, he kind of came and looked like, when he spoke, you'd believe, maybe they are not, maybe they are. See, you must understand, why do you put that in? What was the reason you put that in? You put that in also because you don't want to be just propagating, yes, there are ghosts. Everybody in Singapore, please be scared. Every turn you take, there's going to be under Jurong Bridge, there's going to be one spirit that will come out. It's not that, right? Yeah. You want everybody to believe what they believe. So you give the different dimensions and perspectives, which helps the audience to, at that point when you're like thinking, oh, damn, and this Mel Gilter suddenly turns up and you're like, okay, maybe not.
Art mentioned that you fought for him to be the host of Incredible Tales. So what is it about Art that you saw in him and made it right for him to be part of the show?
I think it's very sweet of him to say that. Yeah. Okay, first of all, so as executive producer, you go through the casting and it's whether it's about hiring your crew, your cast, your presenter. Presenter is very crucial, right, for this. I mean, when we did shows like True Files and all that, we used to have Pierre Bang and different kind of people depending on the genre.
Yeah.
Now, when we saw Art, it's absolutely without dispute that he looks very charming on the camera, and this you must remember in those days. I think Art hasn't aged at all, but even in those days when you saw him, he looked fresh. There was something that attracted you to keep looking at him, correct? Mm-hmm. But he was not Singaporean. He was not from here, right? Now, what happened was, it was mainly his accent. Mm-hmm. If you go through a couple of the episodes, in the first season, at one point of time, it was difficult to understand with clarity what he was saying. For example, this episode, and I'm bringing it back to the episode of the HDB flat.
Yes.
There is a line over there that says, the Sungai Api Api River.
Yeah.
How many? 23 takes.
Oh no.
Just to make sure that he says, Sungai Api Api. There's no Sungai Api Api. You have to say Sungai Api Api because that is your Singaporean river. So before we took him on, there was this whole discussion. Oh, his accent is this. But I don't know, there was something within me which said that Incredible Tales needs an international appeal. Needs somebody there who you feel that audiences from around the region at least can connect with. The rest is history, like we say, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's it was great and very professional. Come, you do your job. I mean, at the end of the day, Sungai Api Api, I'll never forget.
Yeah, very little has changed about him in that sense.
Yeah.
Not just his looks, but
Yeah.
I mean, we're always so grateful to have him on the show because he comes by and he's friendly to literally everyone on the crew. And you're right. It's he'll do whatever it takes to make sure that the show works.
Yeah. Well, I haven't met him for a long time, so Art, wherever you are, we've got to catch up soon.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're essentially regarded as the creator of Incredible Tales. Would you agree?
I think it's important to understand that nobody can create anything alone. You can't. Yeah. There's so many people in the team as committed, as dedicated, as passionate to see this through. So no. Yes, part of it is correct because I was there to go and take this fight and go to programming and say, let's do it and no and yes and who wants a pantang shoa, pantang. But then, so that part is there.
Yeah.
But then alone, creating these episodes? No. The team.
I did want to ask Daisy, what point do you think to yourself, this show really is making an impact on its audience?
To be honest, when you are working full-time and you have a lot of shows which are going on, you don't really think of one is a hit versus another is not. Yeah. But how do you know that something is a hit? Is because the ones which are, they have a lot of reruns. Then you kind of, again. I used to get that for whether it's Under One Roof, whether it's Portugal, our hit shows,
Yes.
which, and they'd be, Incredible Tales is on again, And that's when you realize that, oh my God, you've watched this episode. See, a rerun most of the time is also for people who have actually watched it.
Yeah.
And they are sitting again to watch it.
Yeah.
And they're feeling as scared as they did the first time. So, that's when you start realizing, not bad, the decision we made.
So this question is for everyone. Where do you remember Daisy from the most? And for Daisy, what were the most memorable things you've done in your career?
Well, of course, has to be Under One Roof to start with. Because if there was no Under One Roof, it changed my life. It did. And I really thank the whole production team, the writers. I know I'll never get a chance because I'm not going to get an Oscar, but I'm going to say this here because I really feel, thank you for that. Yes. And so, and that also went on for a very, very long time. So, shows which go on for a long time, the bonding is there.
Yeah.
Of course, the tension is also there. Not that we are all so fantastic. There's, there's always a little bit of layers. But at the end of the day, if you're not a family, you can't go through these long shows. So, Under One Roof, yes. Actually, for me, Incredible Tales, now that when you all talk about it, it seems like we did something quite good. I've never, for some reason, because like I said, there were so many shows going on. And there was Crime Watch and there was... but I think something very exciting for me was the launch of Octo as a channel.
That's right.
So I was vice president. I was heading the team that launched Octo. And so launching Octo for me was just so exciting. That was fabulous. And simultaneously we had Vasantam, which at that time was also under me, and it became a full channel at that time. So now again, you must understand. Look at it like chalk and cheese. You have Octo for the young. You have the art lovers. You have that going on a certain demographic, certain target audience on one channel. And exactly totally different, you have Vasantam going on, with different culture, different styles, So I loved that.
I didn't know about the Octo thing, but I used to watch Octo religiously.
Oh.
Because I didn't have cable as a kid,
Correct.
Not as privileged lah. So Octo was the only channel for children. So I remember watching Octo.
Correct.
And of course, Incredible Tales lah.
I remember you from Under One Roof. And I think that was that sitcom that I will always sit in. And I will never miss it.
Yeah.
And I love your character there. So when they actually mentioned that you're coming on the show, my inner child, I just feel childlike right now because I remember watching you as a child.
As a child, correct.
So now I feel I'm 5 years old again.
1993 is when we launched Under One Roof.
Yeah. And that was
I know. Only the guys with really white hair remember us now. So all of them are kids otherwise.
Yes, I absolutely remember. So I was 11 when Under One Roof came out, and that will be what I remember you for the most. Even with Incredible Tales and everything, that I remember watching that and seeing you, and as the years go on, I will always see your name in all these different shows. I was like, that's Daisy from Under One Roof.
That's Daisy from.
That's Daisy from Under One Roof.
But that's what free to air does, because your community, your country, your people are watching. And there's a recognition.
Yes.
And that is when you feel so privileged that, yes, there are people who yet respect you for what you did.
Agree.
Those days, it was different. Everybody is discussing the episode they saw the night before, you said, and that bonded us. Yeah.
And as much as we enjoyed exploring Daisy's history with our favorite horror series, it wouldn't be an episode of our own show, Tales of Incredible Tales, without a genuinely morbid fact. Inspired by New Flat, Kyle, do you have a morbid fact for us today?
Right, in some parts of the world, specifically in the United States, right, it is actually illegal to sell a house that is suspected of being haunted without letting the buyer know.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That is so interesting.
Yeah. I like how
So how do they do it?
I guess they just have to.
yeah.
By the way, literally just tell them matter of factly,
Yeah.
this home is suspected of being.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just they don't sell it. Like for example, there's the X house. There's a house that that had like the X murders, right?
Yes.
So that house is not on the market. It's like used as a tour house because it's very hard to sell it and it's open history. So everybody knows that it's on. Who will buy a haunted house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unless they're thrill seekers.
But in Singapore, I don't think it's illegal.
Yeah.
There's no law that states that you as a property agent you can't sell a haunted house without telling people.
Kyle, in Singapore, I don't think there is a law which actually accepts the fact that there are ghosts or supernatural.
Agree.
Yeah.
I mean, first you have to agree to that. And there's always this understanding that what you see might not be there. It's your own wish to decide what to do.
Yeah.
So this apartment near the Sungai Api River, somebody's living there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that whoever was there in that apartment might have also moved. I mean, what do we know?
Might be true.
Do they move?
They do. Apparently, according to some sources, they do move.
So thank you so much for joining us, Daisy. It's really good to have you here.
Very
Oh,
big
it's
honor.
my pleasure. My pleasure. So lovely to just hear all these things and to listen to you also.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of you for tuning in to Tales from Incredible Tales. New episodes go up weekly on MeWatch, meLISTEN, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
My name is Daisy.
My name is Wayne.
My name is Kyle.
My name is Raihan, and we will see you next time.
Mm.